Hello everyone and welcome to the webinar. My name is Mati Greenspan. I'm the Senior Market Analyst in eToro. You should have a questions box right there on your screen somewhere, so go ahead and type in. I can see that live in the show. I will be very happy to read it out and answer any relevant questions or to highlight any relevant comments there, so feel free. Just before we get started, I just wanted to send out a quick poll for you. So I wanted just to see where we're at as far as trading experience. So go ahead and let me know there. You should be able to just put that information in there. How long have you been trading for? Hello, Abdul. How are you today? Hello, Jay. Having fun? All right. So all right, I see some of you haven't voted yet, so just, I mean, it's not that hard. Just go ahead and click on one of the circles representing how long you've been trading. Cool, so it looks like about 50% are complete newbies under a year, 30% between 1 and 2 years. So that makes up about 80% of those of you who have voted. And actually, we've got some experts in the house, 13% with more than 5 years experience. That's pretty awesome. Today, I thought we'd do something a bit different. Which is basically, we've been talking so much about cryptos lately, and it's well, let's just say it's risky, right? You can see this is how I feel when I'm trading crypto, and you know what, I do it, and you know, try to keep on top of it, but every once in a while I'd like to, you know, shut it down for for the night, you know, just to get a good night's sleep or whatnot. um, you know, obviously, stop losses in place. But as much as we've been seeing excellent growth in the crypto market, and the growth really has been completely out of this world and unreal. Um, oh, okay, sorry. The poll is still open, so probably you couldn't see my graphic, and probably not laughing with me at the moment. So let's go ahead and put that back on. There we go. So this is how I feel when I'm trading crypto. Um, so it's risky. That's my point. And if we're thinking about an investment for the long term, generally speaking, as far as portfolio management is concerned, we want to stick to the rules of money management. And there was there, you know, I don't know how many of you are getting my daily updates, but we spoke about liquidity in the market, and sometimes in the crypto market there simply isn't liquidity. Now, you know, if everybody's buying and nobody's selling, I mean, that's pretty cool, because you know, the price can skyrocket in a very short span of time. But every once in a while it goes the other way, and this morning we had a pretty sudden pullback, which kind of scared me. I closed a bunch of my crypto trades personally. But what I wanted just to show is some other ideas of things that you can do um, in order to diversify yourself, and some, you know, maybe just give you some other ideas of assets that you can hold in your portfolio as far as long term and stuff like that. One other question that I wanted to ask you guys that'll give me a little bit more information about um, where we should go with the information on this webinar is which eToro club you're in. So you can actually see, if you log into the eToro platform, you can see that on the top left, just under your username. So you can see I'm actually an eTorian. So just go ahead and let me know which club you're in, because we put out the invitation today on Twitter as well. So I realized that probably a lot of you registered right off of that. Usually this webinar is available only for Platinum and Diamond members. Um, but certainly because of the madness that we've been seeing in the crypto market today, well, for the last increasingly over the last few months, we've had a lot of new users, and I think that it's for the experts of you, I think it's always a good idea to brush up on some of these skills, and for the beginners, I think it's completely essential. So, all right, and it looks like we got a good mix in here. 64% voted. I'm not sure why. If you're still not sure, I'm guessing that's just that either you're well, because it's been open to everybody. Maybe there's some people here who have not made a deposit yet. So 28% bronze, 15% gold, 46% platinum, and 12% diamond. Those okay. So it looks like a lot of people are still voting. So 30% bronze. I'm just reading it off, and then the numbers keep changing. Let's close the poll. So the numbers don't change anymore. And here it is: 30% bronze, 15% gold, 44% platinum, and 11% diamond. Excellent. So that means that most of you in here are indeed eligible on a regular basis to receive the webinars. But very happy to see that some of you are taking advantage of this as well from that offer on Twitter. So I did want to just give you before I read some of these comments here. Just a feeling of what we're going through in eToro at the moment. And it's been completely intense, especially in the last few weeks. But maybe the last 3 weeks, I think it's really been at a peak. Now there's our CEO and founder Yoni Assia, our fearless leader in eToro, has written this kind post on the eToro blog, basically trying to explain what we've been going through. And because of the crypto boom, we're basically seeing an influx of users, which is simply unprecedented. It's beyond anything that we could have imagined. And like he details here, we have people from different parts of the company jumping in to help out with the customer service, jumping in to help out verifying the documents of new users. I was walking by one of the senior developers today, and I saw on his screen he's just verifying, an ID of a customer. I myself have been taking customer service chats just to help people out with their issues and answer some questions. Just everybody's trying to pitch in, and so that we can give everybody, all of our users, the excellent service that you deserve. And I do realize that probably there's a lot of people who are still waiting for a while for a response on our ticket. So we're definitely going to get to that for you as soon as we humanly can, and are currently adding staff in order to handle the load. Furthermore, if we're already on the subject, we've been seeing a lot of liquidity crunches in the market. We don't, as a broker, we don't take the other side of a trade for the client. So whenever you're, buying Dash or Ripple or Litecoin through our platform, so we actually go out and get those coins and hold them for you in a segregated wallet. And so, our people in the trading room, they've been working their butts off to make sure that they can get as much liquidity as we can to meet the demand of our clients. But I do realize that sometimes you'll see those buttons go gray. Certainly, it can be frustrating. But just know that is part of the market that we're working in. The liquidity is ultra thin. That does mean, on the buy side, that sometimes we'll have to close out the buy side. But just know that it can also sometimes happen on the sell side or on an open position, or a stop loss could create slippage if we're simply not able to close out a position. That's part of the risk, the ultra high risk of trading on the crypto markets. All right, let me get to some of your questions here. Jack Clay, Diamond doesn't yet show on my profile. Oh, yes, sorry, Jack, you are correct. We actually haven't added the Diamond on the back end yet. It's it's a priority for me to add it for you. So the Diamond. So let's take a look at the clubs. This is the clubs page on eToro. And we actually have we're the highest that I'll show here and in the platform is platinum, which is equity of above 25,000. Diamond level will be defined in the system and on this page very shortly, so that's going to be a much higher equity level. We haven't defined it exactly just yet. It's something that needs to be discussed, by senior management and then implemented. But like I said, everybody's crunching at the moment, so any kind of development is really taking a backseat to making sure that all of the new users get onboarded in an orderly fashion. Mr. Matthew Campbell Hill says, so basic money management means spreading your risk. I started with less than 1/3 in crypto, but now it makes up more than 50% in this case. Should we be taking out of the crypto, respreading? That would mean losing a lot of potential profit, although improving risk. Thanks from Matt. Yes, that's an excellent point. So, yeah, I do believe that. So you can always look at your the way that your portfolio is allocated. If you go to portfolio and you click on this, this is the manual trades view. I thought I closed out all my crypto this morning. Luckily, I still have some Litecoin. Didn't close that yet. And actually, that's what I'm going to do here live on the webinar. So I was quite exposed. This morning I had a bunch on the Crypto Copy Fund, a bunch on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I closed all of it. And so now you can see that, in fact, my allocation is primarily in the balance, which is the balance meaning free cash and available money. So what I wanted to do for you some live trading, just to kind of get a feel. I mean, I'm not going to obviously allocate everything in one session, but maybe we'll try and allocate as much, because you don't necessarily want the money sitting there doing nothing. You might as well just be holding it in a bank account, and receiving the 1% a year interest on it. You really want to put it to work for you, and I think that's one of the principles of investing. But it simply was at the point where I made so much profits that I was just saying to myself, look, if we do see a pullback in this market, 20%, 30% on the crypto market, I don't want to lose all that money that I've gained. So that's why I closed it out. And again, that pullback, even though it was only a 3% pullback across the crypto market, it was a bit scary to me, because I've seen those type of things get out of hand. FUD begets FUD, and then people start pulling out. So at the moment, I'm down to 1.3% overall on crypto, 1.58% on stocks, just 3.38% on ETFs. So certainly, we'll probably be adding some ETFs today, perhaps a few stocks, and I've got no commodities currently in my portfolio, so I'll probably want to be adding a few of those as well. Jay Davies is asking, what are the values for each brand? Which brand? You mean the club benefits? Let me just go ahead and send you the link, and I'll just send to all here. And like I mentioned, we don't have the Diamond Club defined yet in the system. For the moment, we're internally defining it as above 100,000 in equity. It might end up being above 250,000 in equity. We're not sure yet. We're just also going to depend on the overall the benefits that we end up putting in there. One of the benefits also that's going to be for a Diamond member, but I can already give it to those of you who are Platinum and interested, is a free subscription to the Financial Times. If you'd like that, go ahead and just send an email to your account manager. If you're in the Platinum membership, if you got the Platinum badge, on your account, you are eligible already to receive the Financial Times. So just tell them I said so, and they'll go ahead and give it to you. So for those of you not familiar, Financial Times is the most reputable source on any financial news. They've got some excellent email updates that they send. They send it every morning, 6 a.m. London time. That's got all of the best, the biggest news of the day, as well. Their website is completely customizable, so you can customize what type of email notifications you want to get, what type of breaking news you want to get. And even you can customize mobile notifications according to specific topics or keywords. Well, for example, I have my FT subscription set up to send me an email every time the word Bitcoin is mentioned in the Financial Times. I actually set this alert up a few months back, and at the time, I was getting 2 or 3 a week. At the moment, I think I'm going to need to turn it off because it's just getting out of hand. This Bitcoin thing is really taking a hold here. Jack is asking, are jobs at eToro listed anywhere? Is there a link? Oh yeah, sure. We've got a careers page. eToro careers. That's usually how I find it. And I think this will do it. No, what's Comeet? No. Oh, I'm not sure. You stumped me. You stumped me, Jack. We've got Matthew Campbell asking to clarify. My 1/3 became 50% via profit, not my increasing amounts. Yeah. I'm with you there, Matt. That's basically the same as I've experienced here in my account. So yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm sorry, I don't have the careers page on me, Jack, but go ahead and ask your account manager, and we should be able to find it for you. Generally speaking, it depends where you are in the world. I know that we're hiring a lot of people in the Ukraine at the moment. If you've got the relevant experience, perhaps in the UK as well. We've also got offices in Shanghai, Moscow, Cyprus, and here in Tel Aviv, which is where I'm at. So if you've got portfolio management experience, marketing experience, or the like, go ahead and send in your resume. We'll take a look at it. And we have Sumit Menpe, and Sumit, it's great to see you in the webinar today. Is asking, what could be the standard percentage calculation for the investment in different asset class? Oh, this is thank you guys for bringing me on point. I love it. So we have, every once in a while we get off topic, and then we have somebody bringing us right back into it, and that's really cool. So let's say at the moment. One of the key principles of portfolio management is that you want to have the larger portion of your account allocated to the smaller risk, and then have only a small amount of your account allocated to the higher risk. And the reason for that is it's common sense. Is basically to say that you don't want to risk the bulk of your funds, and then with the ultra high risk, even a small percentage of your overall investment could in the end lead to the entire gains of the year, and especially with what we've been seeing with crypto lately, is simply insane. So let's do that first, right? That's the fun part. Let's get it out of the way. Right now I've got 1.29% in crypto, and I'm trading on about 45,500. So let's say, what is, I don't know. I don't want to go to 20% would be ridiculous. 15% is aggressive. Let's say I want to go to about 12.5%. of my total portfolio, so 12.5% of 45,600. That's going to be about $5,700 to put on crypto. And I am aggressive on crypto in general, so that's not a problem. And then I took a lot of profits, so I'm going to be reallocating some of it back to cryptos for sure, especially since I don't know. I was looking at the crypto market. It seems like we, I don't know if we might be going further on this pullback. We certainly might be. But we can always close it back. So for simplicity's sake, at the moment, we'll just use the crypto copy fund. It's the minimum on the copy funds is not loading. Wonderful. So I'll just write in here crypto fund. The minimum is 5,000, so that's about where we want to be, right? So 5,700. Hey, look at that. It's already suggesting me the exact right number. I swear we are not using any voice recognition software to hear what our customers are saying. That's not happening. We're not Facebook. I think that was just a factor of the 10% of my overall account, which is the default amount for an investment. So let's just do the stop loss on this, and let's put the stop loss all the way down at the minimum. I don't want to get stopped out on this. I don't want to get stopped out on this. Let's just invest. Okay, so now we've got that. And let's see the portfolio. And we've got, I didn't think it would update that fast. I was being hopeful there. So we've still got another 23,000 to invest here, and we said that let's say so ETFs and stocks are a bit underrepresented in my portfolio, but I actually don't have any commodities. And I was just looking at gold this morning. Let's take a look at the chart here. Now, I do firmly believe that, especially where we are at the moment, every investor should have at least a little bit of gold, as a long-term play, simply because of inflation that could be coming. And I'm not talking about momentum traders, but I'm talking about just as a store of value. Basically, this is how gold has always been. For anybody who's got a significant amount of wealth, gold is always an exciting place to keep that. So let's say I'm not going to go too aggressive at the moment, but I do want to, basically what I want to do, part of this exercise is to decrease my my risk and to just diversify as much as I can. So let's say of the 45,500 in the account, let's say I just want about 5% of it in gold. So at the moment, that's about 2,275. I think that I can, that sounds about right to me, 2,275, but let's make it a round number, right? Let's say 2,000. Let's just go up a little bit more than 5%. Let's say 2,500. And I'm going to bump the leverage down on this because really the point of this, again, is to allocate my portfolio on something that is less risky than the crypto, and just to hold the value that I've got. All right. So we've got that. Jack Clay, luckily I'm based in London. No, we got that already. Andy DeMacken saying, Matt, hi, it's Andy DeMacken, user ID, blah, blah, blah. Sorry I'm late to the party. Yeah, no worries, Andy. Welcome to the party. Come on in. And please do feel free to go ahead and type in that box if you got any questions or on what we're discussing or relevant comments. I'm very happy to hear it. I mean, some of you are quite experienced, and some of you are quite new. So from the experienced people, I would like to hear your relevant input. And from the newbies, go ahead and feel free to ask questions. That's what this is all about. This is social trading and learning together. All right, so what else we got? So we said ETFs are underrepresented in my portfolio. So how do we fix that? So at the moment, I'm actually holding a few ETFs, mostly related to property. So I have IUKP, which is a UK property market, and IYR. And then I have PSN.L, which is basically a home builders. So I just have this feeling that property is going to be used as a greater store of value going forward. And so this is why I've put a lot on that. But still, it's only a small amount of my total portfolio. Now that I've made some of those profits on the crypto, I can reallocate it accordingly. So let's go ahead and put some more of that IYR. Let's say just another, I don't know, 500 bucks. And then IUKP, just up that amount a little bit. I'm not going nuts here. It's not the point of the exercise. I just want to get as much diversification as I can in there. As well, let's take a look at some of the other ETFs. We can go to trade markets. If anybody of you has an ETF that's a favorite of yours that you would like to see in my portfolio, now is the time. Go ahead and let me know. I'm open to suggestion at the moment. Let's take a look, see what we have here. MSCI Index Fund, PIMCO Bond. Not interested in bonds at the moment. Emerging Markets Stock Index, iShares MSCI Brazil Index, FTSE China 25, Gold Miners. Gold Miners are fun. HYG, that's fixed income bonds. I think that that can be fun. IBB, oh, biotechnology. Can't go wrong with biotechnology. Let's put 1,000 on that. And Barclays Treasury bonds. I am not into bonds at the moment. On a different day, maybe. This is the one I have. Taiwan. Let's see what else we got here. Mid-cap stocks. SPY, ProShares. United Gasoline Fund. That's interesting. This I'm just putting in because I want to get a little bit of a feeling for this and what it is. Just like kind of going like shopping. Simon Reynolds saying SSO. What's SSO, Simon? It's going in my portfolio now. ProShares Ultra S&P 500. All right, I got 500 on it now. Tell me what it is. And Najib Siddiqui saying GBTC. All right, it's going in my portfolio. GBTC. What is it? Oh, sorry, we don't have it. Sorry, Najib. GBTC, not in our platform, unfortunately. But ProShares, SSO is in there. You can always look at this information here. Is designed to double the daily return of the S&P 500. Whoa, that could be interesting. This is stocks on steroids. From what it seems. Yeah, S&P 500 double return. Got it. Oh, cool. Okay, right on. And this actually, so it's interesting that that we have this example, and thanks a lot to Simon Reynolds for that. So that now when we're looking at my overall portfolio allocation, so we'd have to just keep in mind that a part of that allocation is not a lot. It's $500 of my total equity. but whatever is there on the SSO should also be seen as exposure to stocks. So it's something that we'll need to just bear in mind. I mean, if it was a greater exposure, I would put a lot more significance on it. For now, we'll just kind of ignore the fact, but something to one of those factors that we keep an eye on. So okay, so now we've got a bit more commodities, and I'm happy that this is updated already. I'm not sure why the crypto has it, but it looks like the ETFs is now a bigger part of my portfolio. I would say probably it'll refresh within the next 15 minutes or so, but we don't have that long. So what else do we need? So we need some stocks, right? I'm kind of skeptical about the FANG stocks at the moment. I don't know, Berkshire Hathaway, I heard that they had a huge run up. I don't want to buy at the high. FedEx seems interesting. I don't know why it's on the featured there. Anybody have any suggestions for stocks to add? I'm very interested in some stocks at the moment. Let's see. Well, I can also go into one of these cool market copy funds. In the game, for example, that's a fun one. And then I'll just put some of this. I'll take a big chunk out of my available. Let's drop that stop loss and invest. And Jack saying Deutsche Lufthansa and Micron Technology. All right, DEUTSCH. Airlines. I've never been into airline stock before. Let's see how it works. I'll just put a small amount on that. No leverage, no thank you. The point is to reduce the risk. And Micron. Anybody else got some suggestion of stocks that I should be adding to my portfolio? Look at that. A senior market analyst of eToro asking you to help build his portfolio. Riot Blockchain. I don't think that we have that one. No. WLK. Westlake Chemical Corp. Cool. All right, what are they doing? Something interesting lately on research and development that I should know about? EasyJ and GSK. EasyJet. Oh yeah, we're going into airlines now. Let's put 250 on it. No leverage, thank you. And GSK. GlaxoSmithKline. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now we're talking. All right, anything else? Where are we at? All right, we're down to 12K left. Aviation stocks inversely relationship with crude pricing. Yes, that's true. Actually, I'm a bit bearish on crude oil overall. I'm just thinking about the amount of oil that's under the ground at the moment and can be produced at a moment's notice. I mean, it doesn't take a lot for oil companies to turn on the spigots. So, most people who calculate, the price of oil, supply and demand, all this that stuff, they're always calculating the amount of oil that we've already drilled. But there is a vast supply of oil under the ground, which is easily accessible, and that should certainly be factored in as well, because that's ready to come out at a moment's notice. We don't have. I mean, OPEC has been trying to limit production and limit the drilling, but they're not all powerful, and eventually that's gonna fall apart completely. In my view, obviously this is not trading advice. The regular disclaimers apply here. Let's say WLK. We did already. What is the leverage on stocks? Ian Monroe, excellent question. Ian, Let's say UNH is coming from Jane Bangert. So leverage on stocks. So when you click the leverage button, leverage is basically a buying power. So let's say, for example, right now, what is UNH, by the way? Jane, just let me know what I'm adding to United Health. Well, that seems pretty cool. Dominant force in the managed care industry in the United States. So healthcare stocks. Okay. I'm not sure what the. We're just going to get one share, anyways. So you'll see that when you have leverage X1, it basically means that you're getting 1-for-1 on your money. So I'm putting up $222. The price is $222, and you can see the amount of units here is the amount of shares that I'm getting. So units, it depends on what you're trading. On stocks, it means the amount of shares. On gold, it means the amount of ounces. On crypto, it means the amount of coins. In oil, it means the amount of barrels. So right now, I'm getting 1 unit of UNH. So if I bump the leverage up to 2, so actually I'm using the same amount of money, which is $222, but instead of 1 share, I get 2 shares. So it means basically you get a double your buying power. And of course, you can go up to 10 times leverage. So rather than spend, if I'm trading with $222.78, I'm actually getting 10 shares instead of 1. Now, the more leverage you use, the more risky it is. Obviously, because if the price goes in your favor, that's great. But it's obviously nothing goes up forever, and when the price comes down, you have 10 times the losses. So personally, with stocks, I'm not all that interested in taking leverage, especially at the moment. The idea is to limit the risk in the bulk of my portfolio, because I'm already taking on ultra high risk with the cryptocurrencies. So I want to limit the risk in the rest of my portfolio. So here I'm using 1x leverage. Going to buy 1 share of UNH. Another thing to mention about the leverage, that when you're using it, it does come with overnight fees, and if it's if you're trading for a long time, that could start to add up as well. And just for your knowledge, the fees can be seen. Overnight fee that's incurred if you hold the position at 12 o'clock GMT. If you want to calculate the monthly, you multiply this by 30. If you want to calculate the yearly, you multiply it by, who can tell me? I want to see how many people are listening. How many times do I need to multiply the daily? Yay, thank you. Okay, everybody at once. All right, cool. No, actually, Jack's saying don't forget the weekend fee, but the weekend fee is just the daily fee multiplied by 3. In fact, the weekend fees are charged on Wednesday night, while holding over the weekend from Friday night to Sunday night is actually charged one time. But if you're thinking about long term and you just want to know how much it's going to cost you to hold it for a year, just multiply it by 365. If you're thinking in the midterm, multiply it by 30 to get the amount that you're going to pay over the multiply the daily by 30 that you're going to pay over the course of the month. Sumit's saying, to sleep peacefully, use only cash to have trades. Yes, and to sleep peacefully, don't trade crypto. But, we also want to make some money here, so everybody does what they feel is best in their strategy. I'm just here to help as much as I can for you to define your own strategy and to define how you want to build your portfolio. Would those fees be swaps? I'm not sure I understand the question there, but so basically, I believe that you're referring to swaps as far as currencies, which are derived from the difference in interest rates between the different countries. So in stocks, actually, on our platform, we are basically for the leverage, we're actually lending you money, and those fees are derived as a payment on that loan. Andy says, I was pouring some wine. Oh, that's why you didn't answer the question. Good. Cheers, Andy. Glad that one of us is drinking here. Very cool. Would those fees be? No, we said that already. Maybe I am drinking. Over the overnight fees taken from available balance or from the profit loss when trades close. Oh, excellent question, Jay. So these fees are actually taken from the available balance. So meaning that you'll notice at 10 o'clock GMT, all of the fees that are in your account will be incurred at once. Some of the fees are positive as well. So some of okay, so let's say oh, this is pretty cool. We can do this as well in the time that we have. We still have plenty of time to talk about carry trading, which is one of my favorite ways of trading. So if we look at the fees page, we'll notice that some of these overnight rollovers or the swaps are actually positive amounts, which is pretty cool because it means that you get paid for holding the position open. Sorry. So yeah. So basically, if you're holding an New Zealand dollar against the Swiss franc on a buy position, so you're actually for every 10,000 units, you're actually getting paid 53 cents a day. Inversely, on the U.S. dollar against the ruble or the U.S. dollar against the rand, you're getting $1.50 on every 10,000 units. Now, actually, we had some pretty interesting news in South Africa this morning, which might actually entice me to open a trade here. Which was that they've got the ruling ANC party switched their leadership. And one of the reasons that the rand has been depreciating so much has been because of the political uncertainty there. And this man might actually be the right man to balance things out. Now, we're saying that if I'm on a sell position here, meaning I'm selling the US dollar and buying the South African rand, I'm actually making $1.50 on every 10,000 units. So let's just go ahead and see how that works out. Let's say I want the amount of units, and let's say I just want, $3 a day, steady money. That means I'm going to have to allocate about $2,000 using 10 times leverage. Now, the bigger question is, where's my stop loss going to be? Because that's what I really want to know is, where's my risk at? So, okay, so the default stop loss is on $1,000, but I want to go ahead and extend that because I really want to know where am I going? Where do we have to go on the rand? Oh, it's not going to let me by the default. Okay, so let's take 13,391 as the stop loss. Actually, I'm just looking at this. 13,391 is around here to get stopped out. Oh, so that's the amount on $1,000. So if I was to extend it to a $2,000 trade, it'd probably be around here, which is pretty cool. Not the exact trade that I was looking for. Let's check out the USD RUB, which is another high paying. Look at this. Here we have a more or less stable currency. Over the last few months, we've actually been right around this same range, 57 to 60 or thereabouts, and we've actually been there most of the year. So we've actually been there in the entire year. So we said that a sell position on the USD RUB is actually the highest paying position. So it means that we're actually buying Russian rubles, which could be great if the U.S. sanctions are lifted or any other good news coming from Russia. So it means on $2,000, I'm earning $3 a day, and my stop loss will be at 61.86, which is not anywhere the price has been in the last year. That's a trade I can get on board with. So that's basically that's carry trading. Carry trading basically means to take advantage of the interest rate differentials, and you can see those on the fees here. Back in the day, carry trading was incredibly lucrative, because you had countries that were offering 6-7%, stable countries that were offering 6-7% interest on your money, Whereas, there was, let's say if you borrowed money from Japan and put it in a Bank of Australia, for example, that was the big one back in the day. But since 2008, the central banks have toyed with monetary policy, and actually the interest rates aren't what they used to be. So here we are now, and now I have to be involved in the Russian ruble in order to get a good carry trade going. Andy, the answer is 365. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying your wine, Andy. All right. Good. Gary Cornelius asking, how much do I need to invest for a well-balanced, lucrative portfolio? That's an excellent question, Gary. The answer is up to you. I mean, the more money that you have in your account, the easier it is going to be for you to diversify your account. The easier it is for you to start building your portfolio. That said, I mean, the usual disclaimer applies that you don't want to invest money that you cannot afford to risk. However, it really depends what you're doing with that. So let's say, for example, you've got $100,000 in the bank. Now, in a bank account, at the moment, depending on which country you're in, you'd be able to get about 1% per year in interest if you're lucky. This is, again, going back to what we said 2 minutes ago about the central banks being very stingy and not offering interest on people's money. So you're probably better off with that in a diversified investment portfolio. Obviously, you'd be much worse off if well, not obviously, but let's say I wouldn't recommend to take that money and put it all on Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, because that's an incredibly risky investment. Now, I actually have a client who invested $1 million in cryptocurrencies and actually doubled his money and has taken out the profits. But that's not, that's somebody who was able to take that type of risk because he had the money. So obviously everybody's in a different situation. So you want to make sure that that your risk is fitting to your portfolio, your profile, and to what you're looking for. So if we're saying that this is the entire money that you have of your assets, then you really want to make sure that the bulk of it is in the lower risk, the ETFs and ultra diversified copy funds, things like that, to make sure that and when you get to that, I mean the risk disclaimer of do not invest what you're not prepared to lose. I wouldn't say it's gone completely, but it's not as strong as if you're investing in cryptocurrencies, where at that point you need to be very sure that whatever money you put on a cryptocurrency is money that can simply disappear overnight. I mean, according to, the risk profile of these assets. So, Andy is bragging. Very happy for you, Andy. That's pretty awesome. I'm really happy to see that you've made those kind of profits. All right, cool. We have Ian Monroe asking, what would you say was the key driver of XRP running from 0.24 to 0.8, which it is now? Unfortunately, I closed X amount of units of XRP just before it flummoxed me. Flummoxed? Is that a word? Flummoxed. Bewildered or perplexed? So I see that you've been flummoxed by Ripple. And what would you say was the key driver of XRP running from 0.24? So we already said that. Unfortunately, I closed 100K units or XRP. So you've basically written your question here twice, Ian. Andy is flummoxed too. Maybe you should take it easy on the wine, Andy. What's the views on dividend funds? Sumit, excellent question. I think that we should probably be building a dividend fund. Actually, I heard one of our. Actually, I would be very flattered, Sumit, if you would go ahead and and take a look at some of the markets that we have on eToro and propose a copy fund for dividends. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm not particularly an expert in dividend investing, but I think that it should be something that we should have as part of our copy funds. So if you would just send me a list of stocks that you feel would be relevant for that, I would certainly be happy to put the fund together. And I think that could be something that would be incredibly useful for our clients. Cool. So I've got about another 11K here. As I said, I don't want to invest all of it at the moment. I do want to have some free cash. I don't know if Ripple starts to fly again. I want to be able to jump on that, or if you know, I want to invest in something else on the way. Obviously, it's always a good idea to have some free cash in your account. Andy asking, did you see my question earlier on how I could learn how to better predict highs and who is the main culprit for the big early morning pumps? Yeah, that's a lot of short-term speculation stuff. That's not really what what we're talking about today. In most days that I would just roll with you. You know, I love crypto trading myself, and I think it's an incredible rush. But today I really wanted to talk about portfolio management and some of the ways of diversification. So just one of the things that's still missing from my portfolio here is, you know, yeah, I don't need to apologize, Andy. It's all good. Cool. So one of the things that's notably missing from my portfolio here is copy trading. There's a few people that I'm copying here that I think that can, you know, use a little bit more of my money responsibly. So, for example, David Kowalski has made me some excellent returns. He's a short-term trader. He's been my client for many years. You can just to take a look at his stats. Risk score, you know, 2 or 3, and then, you know, the results accordingly, right? Just about every month, month on month. So, you know, I'm glad to put another $500 with him, $600, just for good measure. And Demetrios, actually Demetrios is short on most of the indexes, which is why he's showing a red on my portfolio. I'm actually using him as a hedge against some of the stocks that are in the portfolio. J Nemesis, well, adding J Nemesis is basically a bet on cryptocurrencies, and I've got a lot of cryptocurrencies already in my portfolio, but good to have him here. Let's see. Lena Beers, one girl. Yeah, I can add a bit more on her as well. Let's put another 300 there. She's basically got a lot of stocks on her portfolio, and always adding more stocks to the account. So I'm happy to put a little bit more in there. Anybody else have some suggestions of people that I should check out to copy, or any of you have some good stats? Definitely looking to copy at the moment. I've got another $8,000. I probably want to put another 3,000 on here just now. Jack, if your account has a copy block, it probably means that you're doing too risky investments. So just check your risk score and get it down. Okay, Mr. Thor. Actually, I don't have him in my portfolio. I remember hearing the name, so it sounds familiar. I think that I saw his profile earlier. Let's take out a look at his stats. Whoa, 195% this year. That's pretty cool. And his risk score has been getting lower. And wow, 5,000 copiers already. Whew, that's some excellent growth. Looks like Mr. Thor does have some crypto in his portfolio, but let's take a look. Invested. Okay. So it's just a small amount of crypto, which is pretty cool. Some excellent stocks and platinum and gold. Good. Yeah, this definitely. Thanks for pointing that out. Who was it? Vernon. Thank you for pointing him out. I'm going to put another 1,000 on him. This looks good. And let's take the copy stop loss down to 50. And copy open trades, of course, because I want that platinum and gold in there. And then, yeah, it's cool. That's good diversification there. Great. Big guy, big guy beard. Yeah, he's got a man beard. That's for sure. I've got 352%, but 7 risk. Yeah, no. 7 risk is no good. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for me at the moment. Any other suggestions of people to copy? Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. 100% in 4 months here, heavily in crypto, as you saw. Yeah, look, Matthew. I mean, that's excellent returns, but that's not what we're looking for here. I mean, I could easily just allocate it to crypto and the crypto fund, and that should probably give me about the same returns as, copying somebody who's trading crypto. Is it possible to see your portfolio on eToro? Not at the moment, unfortunately. My portfolio is set as analyst. You can feel free to follow me here on eToro or on Twitter or Facebook, LinkedIn, or any of those other wonderful social networks that I'm quite active on. Alex Plesk, yeah, I do have him in my portfolio. Our Russian team was in the country the other day, and they were raving about him. So I added some. So I've only got 200. I could definitely. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If I wanted to go from 200 to 1,000 on Alex Plesk, I wouldn't get an accurate mirror. So this is actually a good thing that we're highlighting at the moment. So let's just take a look at his allocation. So as you can see here, he's got zero in his balance. So actually, for this particular client, so if I'm going from $200 and I want to move it to $1,000, so if I did that, I'd have an uneven copy, meaning I'd have $800 which was unallocated, and then the next time he opens a position, rather than it being proportional to the rest of his account, it would actually be inflated amount. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just do a little bit of a trick. So I'm going to go to my portfolio and I'm going to stop copying him, and then I'm going to copy it. So you notice that when we added to Lena, to One Girl, it was only a small amount in compared to what I was already copying her with. So that's why I was comfortable with doing that. But here, I really want to get a more accurate mirror of Alex's portfolio when I'm bumping up 5 times on the investment amount. Oh no, the Russian stock market is closed, so now I need to wait. Now, okay, so somebody's got to remind me to put $1,000 on Alex Plesk tomorrow. I'll just put that in my calendar just now. And tomorrow I'll have to put $1,000 on Alex Plesk. So right now, because the Russian stock market is closed, these stocks won't be able to close. So now I'll just need to remind myself to do it tomorrow. 1K to Alex. Memo saved. All right, cool. That's about our time for today. Anybody have any last minute questions? Go ahead. We'll spend another 5 minutes here with you. Does Rob Halam have a copy fund? He's my account manager. Very nice guy. I love Rob. He's one of my favorites. Really stand-up guy. I don't know if he's got a copy fund. He's probably got an eToro account. Most likely, it's also set to analyst at the moment. Vernon asking, when will you be available to add to the copy funds? When will we be able to add? Okay, so for copy funds, it depends which one it is. So if it's a market-based copy fund, like a stocks copy fund, so you probably, if you're adding you should probably just close it and reopen it if you want to add money to it. For the crypto fund and for the people-based copy funds, usually the best time to do it is right before the rebalancing. The crypto fund is rebalanced on the 1st of every month. So let's say, on the 29th of December, it's a fine time to add to the crypto fund because, or the 31st of December, that's going to be a good time because then the next day it'll just be rebalanced. anyways, and the money will get redistributed accordingly. And then also most of the people-based copy funds are rebalanced on a quarterly basis. So also, 31st of December, you can go ahead and add money and it'll be automatically rebalanced. But if it's a significant amount and you're doing it in the middle of a quarter, you might want to just close down the copy and then just restart like I've done here with Alex. All right. Suggest some hedge funds. Sumit, why don't you go ahead and take a look at some of the markets that we've got in eToro? I'd love to, as an asset manager, I'd love to hear your opinion about them. For those of you who who don't know Sumit, I'm actually very proud of Sumit. He's been my client it's actually the longest standing client that I have a relationship with. We managed to stay in touch through several brokers, and he's actually built his own career around trading. And I'm very happy to call myself his mentor, and very happy with the way that he's progressing. It's really quite incredible, Sumit. So thanks for joining the webinar today, and looking forward to your feedback according to what you're seeing over there on our platform. Andy, let's take the last question. What is your feeling on Ripple reaching $1? Oh, $1, Matt. I thought it was $1 when you were asking when Ripple was going to reach $1 million. So $1, I don't know, anytime between 5 minutes from now and never. These crypto markets can be tricksy. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. A weekly chart on Ripple. That's just some incredible stuff right there. Actually, the chart from the beginning of the year, I think, is even more insane. I believe in March it was trading at less than 1 penny per XRP token. Now we're looking at 80 cents, almost 80 cents a token. Incredible growth already. I do like Ripple as a project. The more and more partnerships they add with different banks. So for those of you who are not familiar, Ripple is a cryptocurrency and a private blockchain, a company that would like to replace the current SWIFT system that banks use to transfer money between each other. The problem with Ripple growing too fast, and this is maybe a bit controversial, and I'm certainly not trying to spread any FUD around here, but I just want to burst, maybe just put a little bit of I don't know, brakes on Ripple, simply because so the way that Ripple works is on a platform that they call GateHub, where GateHub is the place where you can send money from one. So you basically build a payment channel between two different banks, right? So then one bank can send, let's say they're sending $1 million, so they send through that channel, and in the transaction, the technology is amazing, and the transaction happens within seconds. So that's actually the fastest way to move large amounts of money around the world at the moment. Certainly much faster than Bitcoin. And actually, it doesn't. The XRP token itself is not the money. The XRP is the gas that's used in the transaction. So when you send that $1 million from one bank to the other, you're actually burning a small amount of XRP. And that's basically the fee that you're paying to Ripple for the transaction. So the controversy here is if the price per XRP token gets to be too high. Yes, it is super cheap at the moment. However, if the price of XRP token gets too high, that would basically increase transaction costs and lower the usefulness of the network. Now, obviously, we're not there yet, and Ripple can also decide that they want to burn less XRP per transaction. However, the amount of the price per XRP token does have a limit that it can grow feasibly. I don't think that we're anywhere near that limit at the moment. And to see XRP token at $1 even before the end of the year would not be unrealistic, according to the amount of that it's been growing so far. And there was a few days ago, look at this, from December 12th to December 15th. That was 3 days. it went up from 25 as high as 90. So it basically, to an average of 75. So basically tripled in value in the span of half a week, which is mind-boggling. And that's just part of the magic that we're seeing in the crypto world. So you're asking me when it'll reach $1? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe never. You can't really know. These are high-risk markets and highly unpredictable. All right. I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your high level of participation and for helping me build this awesome portfolio. That's pretty cool of you guys. And feel free to reach out on the eToro network or, as I mentioned, on any other social network, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. I'll be right there and happy to speak with you further. Have an awesome day.